Hello, Hao Chen here. Welcome to my devlog. In case you're first time watching me, I'm Hao Chen. I'm currently doing an graduate study in game development. And making this devlog because I made a game with Active Ragdoll, and I believe it was actually not very difficult to do at all. I thought I'd put it up here so you might have some fun with it as well. I always liked Active Ragdoll. I mean, Game Beast, GTA 4, they were all practically amazing. You can have like infinite variety by just having ragdoll physics. If you shoot somebody in the head in GTA 4, they just react completely differently, as opposed to if you shot them anywhere else. I could play around with that all day, and man, they don't really put those in modern games anymore. Not as much as I'm seeing anyway. What I made, of course, wasn't particularly impressive, but I believe it was extremely fun. So you might have some fun with it as well. That said, let's get on with the devlog. First of all, you need to make the ragdoll yourself. Do feel intimidated because setting this up is the most complicated step. Prepare the sprite sheet, which in my case is just a tree, its roots, and a bunch of leaves. Feel free to get your own sprite, of course. You don't have to separate every element like me, neither. I just did so because the tree can lose legs and the leaves can fall off. They're also rendered in different order in the game, so it's necessary. Once you do have the sprite sheet, open it, go to the sprite editor and select Skinning Editor. Here you can add bones to your sprite. If nothing shows up, make sure you double click your sprite. I kept on thinking my skinning editor was broken during the jam. Once you rig it, it should look like this. Apply it, drag it into the editor and add a sprite skin component, and then generate bones. And boom, you've got a 2D rig in your game. Of course, it isn't a ragdoll yet. That's where the next part comes in, the boring part. Adding joints. Basically, you want hinge joints between every bone. And after you add a rigid body and a collider to them as well, you would have a basic ragdoll. In essence, you're just setting it up like a marionette. Yeah, and to ensure it stays upright, I froze the Z rotation for one of the bones. Simple. After the basic marionetting, I also added a spring joint at the end for each of the legs, which I call feet. It helps stretching out the legs like a spring, as you have seen in the game footage. This is essentially how you control the ragdoll to make it jump on its tentacles. I just changed the distance value in code to make it stretch on the button clicks. Although I also had to make sure to add an extra empty bone at the end, because otherwise the last bone wouldn't stretch the way I want. It would just be soft and flop around instead of what you're seeing now, which is hard, like a spear. And I'm sure you're wondering why there's a middle leg. That is, of course, a For the code, well, there's practically no code. Literally just changes the distance value for the spring joint. With some adjustments on the angle limits, soon you'd have a working active ragdoll that functions on quad controls. Just look at it. It spawns up like a dream.
I was looking for a ring.
Hope you enjoyed this devlog. I wish it was informative. It's short, I admit, and I'm leaving out the monster, the power-ups, the flying, falling fires, but those were just really spur-of-the-moment funsies. We had 6 programmers during the game jam, and we were just putting random stuff in as we wanted. I mean, it works.